It's a lovely Saturday morning. It's not hot. Looks like she's working on her glove box. That's good. Looks like something leaked a little oil this weekend. I've got to get that thing's done, something done with it. I got to do the tune-up stuff on this Chevrolet. And I got to clean this big Ford up and do a couple little things and get it ready for sale. And fix the weed eater. Oh, and the guy never bought that thing, so I need to do a couple little things to it and get it to the guy who's going to sell it for me. I don't know how far I'll get because I feel like crap, but let's see what happens. Alright, I fixed the weed whacker. So, one of the first priorities we have is I got to get rid of this Travelall. And then I got to get rid of that Ford. So I'm going to fool with this Travelall just a little bit more. Terry Matthew, I think his name is, recommended I run some carb cleaner through it. It's probably got gum on the valves causing them to stick once in a while, so I'm going to try to fix that little problem and then so I can get rid of it. The asphalt's hot, ain't it? Well, this piece of junk bent another push rod. I had a heck of a time getting it running, and when I did, it sounded like that. So it looks like I gotta pull a valve cover off again. I think it's that side. I think that's the side that's missing anyway. Alright, you can see it right there, I think. Bent one on that side. I think that's the same cylinder it bent before. What the heck? Well, ain't nothing to do but take it out, straighten it out. And we got one bent on that side. Alright, I got one straightened out here pretty good. And not rolling it too good, am I? And then this one, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's slightly bent, so I'll see if I can straighten it out. Alright, I got it pretty straight. It's not perfect, but it's a little tricky to do. A little tricky. But I did notice they're all bending on the intake valves, so I'm going to switch these bent ones to the exhaust and straighter ones on the intake. And we'll put this thing back together. And I think I'm going to run a bunch of carb cleaner down through the carburetor. I did notice when I had the intake off, in the heads, the intake ports, and the intake, it had a bunch of goo in there from old gas, I guess. So I'm going to run some carb cleaner through it. We'll put some Mr. Oil in the engine. And I'm going to let that thing run the rest of the day. See if that don't help it. What are you carrying on about?
I was kind of trying to figure out how you singed your entire head of hair.
It can't be that bad.
Okay, so maybe not right here by the ears.
Here. Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Alright, I got push rods straight. I'm going to start putting this thing back together in the hot sun. Alright, I did all I said I was going to do. Run almost a whole can of that through it. Put some more marble mystery oil in the oil. Now it don't sound too bad. Still a little trembly, but we do have used plugs, old distributor cap, wires of unknown vintage, etc., etc. It sure would be nice if you could start this thing without bending a push rod after it got cold. I think I'm going to let her run. Get the let her run until it runs out of gas or it blows up. And then while that thing's sitting over there running, I'm gonna do what I wanted to do anyways. Need to size up my fan belts and stuff here. It needs, ooh, it's hot. A new fan clutch and some other stuff. The AC pump is not seized up. I'm gonna use Toe Wrecker's trick with the computer cleaner stuff for Freon. I'm gonna have to watch that video again to remind myself, and I gotta gather up a few things. I don't have a vacuum pump. I guess I could buy one from Harbor Freight, bad as I hate to. I do have a set of gauges, but I need a can clamp too. So the goal with this truck is to just go through it, make sure it's not gonna break down. I think the radiator here is a little suspect. Last time I took a radiator to a shop, it was like 400 bucks. So we'll see what happens there. Just kind of go through it and make sure it's going to be reliable. Blow some pine needles out of it. Hopefully stashed away there in the fender with some old belts. I think this one's the AC belt. I'm gonna take these ones loose. You know, they're not too bad, but better off putting new on if you're gonna count on it, and that's what I'm gonna do, count on it. So let me take that stuff apart, make sure that belt fits the AC pump. See, the thermostat housing looked like it was leaking a little bit. Got a new upper hose on it, and looks like a new lower hose, so those may be okay. And we'll see what else here. Well, all those belts were correct. You can hear that Travelall still idling back there. It's quit smoking at all, so that's a good sign, maybe. I'm gonna let it run and run and run. So let me put a right new Edelbrock on there. It's a 1411 1473, I think. Looks like a big one. Bigger than I need, I think. There's the radiator. It has been replaced at some point, and fairly recently, I'd say. I don't know when exactly. But right here, you can see it's split just a little bit in the solder. I noticed when I brought it home, it was good and warm, 200 degrees or so, and it was just seeping there just a little bit. And you probably can't see inside there, but the core's got just a little buildup on them, so I'm gonna take it to a radiator shop. If they don't charge me $1 million, I'll have them fix it. If they do, I'll buy an aluminum one for it. Alright, now I'm gonna go buy some parts, and I'm just gonna take something air conditioned because I feel like crap, and then I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's all a sick man couldn't be expected to do, right? I think.